Thanks, Eric. So you're a Kamenak shareholder looking for something to do with your money. Have I got a story for you?
Welcome, Kamenak.
Yes. Precipitate, real quick snapshot here. Precipitate is a company, as Eric said, is exploring in the DR. We made a discovery in the Dominican Republic in late 2014. We went out and expanded the target of that discovery to over 1 kilometer in strike. It was all looking very promising, and unfortunately we did all that in a market environment that simply wasn't there to reward that kind of exploration success. So part of what we've done since that time is to sort of look at ways to continue to add value for the shareholders, advance the project, and do so without blowing up the capital structure of the company. In recent weeks, we've put out some news that I think supports the work that we've done over the course of the last 18 months. And as we're getting into a market, as Eric says, that's becoming a little bit more, I think, interested in drill plays, we're establishing ourselves again to go back in and get active again with the drill bit. Forward-looking statement. I don't think anybody wants us to look backwards after what we've been through. So Dominican Republic, it's a new gold discovery in the DR. We're immediately adjacent to a sizable deposit. Gold Quest Mining has, depending on how you cut off the grade, about 3 million ounces right next door to us, and that's part of the reason we're there. We're within an underexplored belt in the Dominican Republic that's seen a couple of multi-million ounce deposits delineated, but not a lot of systematic ongoing exploration, so it's prime hunting ground in our opinion. And in recent weeks, as I said, in fact, just last week, we announced the delineation of 5 new target areas that have similar characteristics to our discovery zone, and we're excited to get back and do more work on those to bring those to a drill stage. I won't go through everybody on the board and the management team, but suffice it to say that everybody involved in our team has either been involved hands-on in the exploration work that's led to a discovery, or on the administrative side and the executive side in bringing a project to a point where a mid-tier or major has taken it out. Quick look at our structure and capital structure. 51 million shares out, 74 fully diluted. We closed yesterday at 17 cents, so our market cap's about 7.5 million. And we've got about $650,000 in the treasury. Our capital structure, again, is quite tight, not a lot of float. We've got sizable shareholders, including Strategic Metals, who some of you may know, and insiders, founders, management, also north of 20%. So a very good structure, and we've worked hard to keep it such. It's not often you get a chance to put your chart up in recent years, so I thought I would put that in. As you can see, we've had a nice lift since the beginning of the year. Perhaps equally important, we've seen the volume pick up. Again, this speaks a little bit to what Eric was talking about in his speech. And we've been able to initiate programs and get active again with news flow. So we're starting to see some appreciation coming in our share price. This is where we're located. In purple here, this is Gold Quest ground. In 2012, they made a significant discovery up north there at the Romero South. Their share price went from 6 cents to $2 almost overnight. And they rapidly advanced that to a PEA stage inside of about 18 to 24 months. We were able to pick up the ground immediately adjacent to them, and basically purely because it was next to a new discovery. We didn't know much about it. There wasn't much prior work, and so we had our work cut out for us. And we prospect sampled. We sort of applied some of the science that had been used by Gold Quest to make their discovery to sort of help expedite our processes. And to sort of cut a long story short, Ginger Ridge became sort of our target area. We had our highest grab samples there, up to 13 grams, and it was in an area where we could get at access-wise quite easily, and so that became our focus. We utilized, as I said, the science that had worked for Gold Quest next door to us, and really that was geology. You want to be in the right rocks, the right host rocks, in this case the volcanics. Geophysics, whether it's airborne from a regional perspective or ground IP over primary targets, we knew that worked. And geochemistry, of course, if you've got some surface anomalies, these things coinciding is kind of where you want to be. And so we applied that science at our Ginger Ridge zone. We went in, and the sort of the pink blob area there is geochem at surface. We got about a 2-kilometer strike of geochem and some highlight samples within that. But we knew that IP and ground IP was going to be the final tool before drilling. So the thicker black lines there, that's an IP grid. We did 200-meter spacings over the central core of that geochem anomaly. Where you see those larger red blocks is where we got the higher chargeability reading, which is what we wanted to see. And as you can see, that's situated very nicely right coincidental with the geochem at surface. So we saw this geochem and geophysical anomaly. We wanted to drill it. We went in 2014. We did a quick 6-hole drill program. We started out in the central core of this anomaly where the higher grade values were. We didn't get much joy, but if we go up to the north there where the yellow dot is, that's our drill discovery hole, hole 5. And it's the 5th hole ever drilled on this project. And we hit 100 meters of massive, semi-massive sulfide. We got some high grade intercepts there, 13 grams over 5 meters within 18 meters of 5 grams. So we were into something. We had an analog here now, but what we derived from this was that the geophysics and the geochem was the strongest at the northern extent of this IP survey, and we didn't know what was happening to the north. So we had to go back and see if we could expand the target area beyond just a single hole. And as you see here on section, these IP lines, hole 5 is right into the guts of that light pink or purple color, which is the highest chargeability reading. The thicker line above it on the surface trace is the geochem. So you've got this coincidental geochem with geophysics, and that strong chargeability is where we want it to be. And so the question was, what happens north of hole 5? And is there more hunting ground to be explored in that direction? So we went back and we did 4 lines of IP, again, 200-meter spacings to the north. And what we were looking for is that same signature, that same analog that we'd seen in the discovery hole. And as you can see here, not only did that chargeability high continue to the north, and it's very linear, right on trend, but it's situated again right underneath those thicker lines of the geochem. It gets stronger, it gets broader as we move to the north. And because we didn't drill off of the line to the south of the discovery hole, we've now got a kilometer strike here of the right stuff that is basically screaming to be followed up with a drill plan, or drill program. Unfortunately, as I said, the market was soft. Raising money at depressed prices to go in and do another round of drilling didn't make a lot of sense for our capital structure. So we looked to find ways to add value, keep moving forward without blowing up the capital structure. And so what we were able to do was increase our land position in the region. We added some quite strategic properties at the southern extent of our land package. We flew a relatively inexpensive airborne survey over that new ground. We executed a data sharing agreement with the guys next door at Gold Quest, whereby we were able to get access to their 10 years and nearly $20 million worth of exploration work in this belt, which obviously fast-tracked our understanding and how we wanted to execute our follow-up programs. And we raised $800,000 with a strategic partner called Strategic Metals, and gave us the wherewithal to be able to go out and continue to execute on identifying additional targets to prep ourselves up for a more substantial drill program down the road. So again, geology, geophysics, and geochemistry being the key. What did we do with the money and the new projects? Well, down in that circle down at the bottom, that was the new ground that we picked up in 2014 on the back of the discovery. That was ground that was previously not held by Gold Quest or ourselves, and we were able to do a deal where we basically gave some warrants to the vendor and we picked it up for nothing. Those warrants expired, and so we got it for nothing. What we liked about this ground was that the volcanics within this land package was the single largest area of host rock volcanics anywhere in our land package. And so we're in the right geology, and there's a lot of it. From a geophysical perspective, you can see here, this is airborne flown by Gold Quest in the past, and so we sort of had a very clear sense of what the geophysical signatures looked like within the belt, and specifically over top of known mineralization, whether it was Romero up to the north or even our own Ginger Ridge. We knew what kinds of magnetic signatures we were looking for and where the mineralization was hosted. So on the back of acquiring that land package, we did airborne over that. And as you can see from the results we pulled there, what you're looking for here is these magnetic anomalies and these darker red or blue anomalies that strike wonderfully sort of in this northwest-southeast direction along trend with most of the mineralization in the belt, and is down in an area where we had done very little or no prior work. So in March of this year, on the back of the sort of the layering of the geology and the geophysics, we went in and we had to find out whether or not the geochem would support follow-up work there. So we sent a crew into the project in March. We did a month's worth of sampling, prospecting, mapping, and sampling, the same kind of work that led to the discovery of the Ginger Ridge zone. And we reported earlier this week that we had identified 5 new anomalous zones that have the same kinds of characteristics as we see at Ginger Ridge. So these now offer us the opportunity to go back in, do more detailed follow-up work with more detailed geochem, and that ground IP that we showed from Ginger Ridge as a final mechanism for trying to delineate our best drill targets. And the goal here will be to try to go in and establish a more sizable drill program that can test Ginger Ridge and that obvious target over a kilometer strike that we've delineated there, but also have these secondary targets to pursue in tandem with that. And so, in summary, we've had a drill program that was successful at Ginger Ridge. We've expanded that zone for follow-up testing. We found multiple new zones with similar affinities and characteristics to what we see in the mineralization, and we'll commence more detailed exploration work over those new zones probably as early as next week, with the view to getting active with the drill again later this year, hopefully in a market that's there to reward us for any success that we have. Thank you for your time.